Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live. Because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning and in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put the community first.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, hello there, ladies. How you doing?
Hello.
Well, you know it's hot outside today, but it's also hot inside because you know us women, we be flashing and carrying on and stuff with our menopause that we're talking about tonight. So we have a special guest coming on to talk to us about how to deal with our perimenopause, and Dr. Vanessa is going to introduce our guest now.
Absolutely. Our special guest tonight is Ms. Denise Martin Abrams. She's a dedicated entrepreneur, passionate advocate for women's health and empowerment, and she is the author of Perimenopause, the season no one prepared us for. Let's welcome my guest tonight, Ms. Denise Martin Abrams.
Hey there,
Well,
ladies.
hello there, Ms. Martin.
Hey there, ladies. Thank you. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on and talk to us about, our little hot flashes. It's 90 degrees outside now, but it still sometimes get hot inside. So thank you for coming. So let's just start off with, what is perimenopause?
Perimenopause is actually the years leading to menopause that most of us don't know about or talk about. And that season can last anywhere from 1 year to literally 10 years. It can last for a very long time. It's a season that prepares us before the cessation of the, your cycles. So it's a season before menopause.
Okay. And what age does perimenopause start? I'm 42 and my doctor's telling me I'm in perimenopause. So I don't know if I believe it.
42 is the prime years. That's exactly when they say it starts, around 42. But what we're learning now is women are starting entering that season a lot earlier than 42. But between 42 and 52 is typically when perimenopause begins.
Well, we know every woman, there's not one size fit all. So every woman experiences different menopause. Some have it, for what I hear, bad, so I'm not really quite sure. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm not really quite sure if I've really been there. So I don't really know what the experience is. But I hear it's something that women really need to be prepared for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the funny thing is, when I started perimenopause, I had no idea what was going on. I started off, my symptoms were very subtle. I started off with just being tired, and I was tired of being tired, and I just didn't understand why I couldn't. It didn't matter how much rest I got. I just did not get enough rest. And that tiredness went to insomnia. And then from insomnia, of course, the symptom just began to exacerbate. And so those were some of the symptoms that I experienced, as well as I also found that during those years, women have a lot of challenges with fibroids. And so fibroid growth during that time period, a lot of women have hysterectomies during that time period. And so perimenopause can just really wreak havoc on our health if we don't really understand what's going on. And more importantly, understanding how to identify some of the contributors when our body's already going through the change.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just going to say, is there anything in particular that we can do to alleviate some of the symptoms from perimenopause? And especially if you are too experiencing fibroids. So, they're working pretty much hand in hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The first thing I think is awareness, because when I started this journey, I had no idea what was going on. I had fibroids. They started off at the size of a pea and they went to a size of a 6-month pregnant woman. I also had fibroids where I bled so heavily until I couldn't do anything. I literally couldn't even have a conversation with you because I lost so much blood until I was just weak. My body was weak. But the beautiful thing is the master upstairs always gave me divine wisdom on what to do. So I knew what to do. I knew that my body was losing a lot of iron and a lot of blood. So I knew that I needed to rest because I could not compete with any other activity because I needed to build new blood. And then I also needed to give my body what it was losing, the iron and the hemoglobin. So what I did is I ate a lot of kale, chard, spinach juice, yucky. I had a lot of molasses. And then I also took a supplemental iron, and that really helped me to keep my blood up when I was losing so much blood. And where most women I know have to have blood transfusions, they were shocked to see how strong my blood was because I knew to do those things. So to answer your question, yes, there's plenty of things that you can do to alleviate it. But I think the most important things, ladies, in this season is really helping us to identify what's going on. Because like I said, I had no idea that my chronic fatigue was related to hormones. I had no idea that my insomnia was related to hormones. I didn't know anything, even with the change of our body odor, related to hormones. So there were so many things that were related to hormones as our bodies begin to prepare for menopause. We start losing or converting estrogen and losing progesterone. And progesterone is our natural relaxation drug, whereas estrogen is our anxiety drug. So when you're losing a lot of progesterone, you can't rest. So to answer your question, what we can do? We can look at things that contribute to our already estrogen dominance. If our body's already producing too much estrogen and now we're adding extra estrogen to it, it only just kind of exacerbates our symptoms. So what we want to do is look at some of those, I call them triggers or identifiers that cause, they have what they call a xenoestrogenic effect, which those products mimic estrogen in our body. So for example, believe it or not, things that we think is good, like flax, all of us know flax is good for the heart and all of that, right? But flax is not good when you're going through perimenopause because it acts as estrogen in your body. Little subtle things like, believe it or not, our tampons and our pads, the chlorine from those things mimic estrogen in our body. So if we have our estrogen levels already in haywire, then what we want to do is try to minimize some of the things that we have control over that increases those estrogen levels, which causes those effects. So there's a whole host of things that we can do to minimize those things, from diet to exercise to the products that we're using. And I don't want to talk too much because I know you guys are going to have more questions, but hopefully I'm answering the question and I'm hitting on some of the important components that we really need to be aware of. And
no, it's no problem. It's no problem you talking because what you were saying about the things that trigger, see, at least me, I wouldn't even think about that triggering menopause, the things that you name, because I mean, like when you get tired and you fatigue, you figure you're just tired and fatigued because you're working, you're staying up late, you're getting up early, you're busy doing a lot of things, so you just tire your body out. So how come the doctors them can't tell us that if they know, so they don't even know when we go in menopause, when these things be happening?
I've did so much research, ladies, on this topic, and it just surprises me that they're treating our symptoms as opposed to the cause, and the information is definitely there. So do they know? We know about the hot flashes and the night sweats. Those are the things that we usually identify with menopause, but no one tells us about all those other symptoms that are associated with the change. For example, the insomnia, the crying spells, the mood swing, the weight gain, even the, believe it or not, ladies, incontinence. A lot of times, they see these commercials about depends. Well, guess what? Because our urethral walls, estrogen has an effect on that. And so it's thinning out. So that's why when you cough and sneeze, there you got some urine leakage, because guess what? We're losing estrogen. And so, yes, as doctors know about it, but are they treating us for it? What I found in my research, ladies, is they're treating the symptoms. And as a result, the way that they're treating the symptoms is only exacerbating and worsening the symptoms. Not only that, I researched all over the world, because once I identified that these were my triggers, and it took me years, so it's not something that I just woke up and did. It literally took me years to figure these things out. And then from there, I experimented with my own body. And I wanted to say, when I started feeling good, I'm like, okay, was this an accident or am I really feeling good? So I backslid and I went back to the things that I was doing, and lo and behold, I crashed. So then I'd start doing the things again, and guess what? I felt good. And then I backslid again, and I did it 3 times. And when I did it 3 times, I recognized, oh my freaking stars, if this is affecting me this way. And then I started looking at all the symptoms and the millions of women all over the world. I mean, I researched countries like Australia, China, Japan. I wanted to see if it was a global phenomenon or if it was just in the United States. And I saw all over the world, women were suffering from the same symptoms. But what really hurt my heart and why I'm so passionate about it is because the number of women that lose their minds. African American had the highest rate of nervous breakdowns during their 40s and 50s. And white women at the time had the highest rate of suicide. So I wanted to see if that was associated with what we were going through. And what I found is the ladies who were treated with medication and the ladies who had all the antidepressants and then they couldn't sleep, so they got the muscle relaxants. And now they got the hormonal headaches, so they taken pain pills and the narcotics. And now, all of these different medications that they're doing, guess what? 90% of all suicides were people treated with those drugs. And
yeah,
so
but Denise, what I'm not cutting you off, but what I'm trying to understand is that, okay, now we already know, they already told us that when we get a certain age, just like, Tiffany say, oh, when you get in your 40s, they say, you're going to start menopause. So we already know in our heads, menopause is coming down the road. But before we get to that turn to go into that road, when we are feeling the things that you say we were feeling, but see, we wouldn't know that's menopause because
Absolutely.
when we know we're in menopause is when we start getting them hot flashes and you have to start stripping and taking off clothes and stuff, or sleeping naked in the bed at night because you're too hot with clothes on. That's when you know now you are starting to go into menopause. But before that, we wouldn't know that we going.
But they don't talk. The doctors don't talk about it.
I think one of the things that people is to get up on these common denominators of what menopause is, and what happens, that what I'm hearing is that there's other contributory factors that are contributing to it, but people don't understand. They don't see the causation of it, right? And then when you look at these products, these things and products, there are hormone disruptors, right? Endocrine disruptors. And these are things that are contributory. So when you have an ongoing effect, you have all these things coming, it's putting people in a different state of mind for suicide, other illnesses, other conditions. And this is the situation. So when we talk about,
but that's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't know that that's causing you to go into menopause.
Yes, but it's the awareness. Right? It's the awareness. It's not the location. It's the awareness. So I didn't go through I didn't have any hot flashes, all these things I hear women go through, but this the awareness of things that could be contributory factors. And this is what is
but the doctor is not telling us these things. No. I mean, they're not even telling us about.
That's what I'm saying. You keep saying contributory factors. We know that, but then how would you know that's towards menopause? That's what we said.
And that's exactly what Dr. Vanessa was saying. Absolutely, what Dr. Vanessa is saying is absolutely correct. It's about awareness. I had no clue. I didn't even know what the word perimenopause was. I had no clue, And so as I began to research it and I found perimenopause and I saw that it's the season leading to menopause and it can last 10 years. And then all these symptoms are associated with high levels of estrogen. What is it called? Low levels of estrogen. What does it cause? There's symptoms that's associated with the different hormones that we have. And as I began to embark upon, oh my gosh, that's why I can't sleep. That's why I have chronic fatigue and I have anxiety. My estrogen levels are high. That's why I can't sleep.
Not cut you off, Denise. We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back. Let's come back and talk about how we're going to handle the menopause now that we're in that phase. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
It's Shannon. When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming. When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
If you're just joining us today, we're talking about menopause. So before we went to break, now we want to come back and talk about, okay, now we're in menopause. What do we do and how we can handle ourselves to get through this awful journey? So Denise, before we went to break, I want to talk about now Okay, we're in the menopause stage, so now we know what's going on. We're having our little hot flashes. We can't, have a lot of heat. Okay, so what are some of the things that we can do to help, get us through this journey?
Yes.
Because it's a journey. It's a journey.
Absolutely. Again, it's awareness and then some of the contributing factors because our body is going to go through it. So, for example, dairy products and sugar products, believe it or not, it exacerbates our symptoms. So you want to start trying to minimize. It's about a holistic approach. It's not about a pill to, going from one pill to another pill, but it's taking a holistic approach. So diet is very important. Looking at those foods that contribute to our estrogen dominance, things like pomegranates, things like flaxseed, things like dairies and sugars. Those are triggers that exacerbates our symptoms. You want to look at your skincare and hair care products. Believe it or not, a lot of our skincare and hair care products are full of estrogen. They have all types of names, estriol and placenta. There's a product that I would put on my daughter's hair and it had placenta in it. So you want to look at your skincare and hair care products and then become aware. Google them. I always tell people to let Google be your best friend. And when you don't know, when you're in doubt, this is what I did. I went to single ingredients. If you don't have time to read all the ingredients like I did, go buy plain shea butter, nothing else. Go buy mango butter, nothing else. So you want to do things that bring your body back in homeostasis by minimizing a lot of the contributing foods. Believe it or not, insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, all those things in their food, guess what? They mimic estrogen in our body, so it exacerbates our symptoms. So I went to organic, white toilet paper, white pads, chlorine filled paper towels. Guess what? That mimics estrogen. So you want to minimize those things. You want to minimize as much as possible that you have control over that exacerbates those already out of control hormones. And when you do that, by default, you'll begin to see your body begin to come in balance. And ladies, like I said, I literally experimented with my body. So I'm not just telling you guys something I researched. I had no idea or no plans on writing a book. These are things that I went through personally, and through me gaining my life and experimenting is why I'm so passionate about it. So it's about minimizing the foods that you eat, the processed foods, all of those things you want to kind of get rid of. And sometimes it's overwhelming for ladies when you have to try to get rid of everything at once. And so I just say play process of elimination. And one of the things that ladies really need to understand is our skin is a gateway to our blood. What you put on your skin gets into your blood 10 times faster than what you put in your mouth. So, and I use the analogy of the pain patch, the cigarette patch. I'm so sorry. Pain patch, cigarette patch, and the birth control patch. All of those things, again, if a pain patch can stop you from having a cycle and getting pregnant, stop pain going away. What are you putting on your skin every single day? And one of the things that I say, ladies, is cleanse your liver at night. Take yourself a liver tonic. You can use burdock and dandelion and milk thistle, some lemon water, in 8 hours, give your liver a break. And believe it or not, that helps your body to become in balance. There's so many things that you can do to take control, and it's not that expensive. It's just awareness on what to do. So in the book, I talk about a lot of those things. I identify some of those foods that are contributors so that you're aware. I have people literally go into their cabinets, and when they go into their cabinets, and I say, look how many things that have sugar in it. And they're looking at corn syrup, corn sweetener, glucose, sucrose, dextrose, all of these things on there, and it has full of sugar. And we wonder why our bodies are out of whack, right? And so we look at those things. We go in your bathroom, let me see what's in there. We go in your bathroom and you'll be surprised how many things that you can identify that are triggers. So that's what this book is really about. It's about awareness, bringing awareness to what's already happening in our bodies. And then once we have that awareness, then we can make some conscious choices and changes that can give us our lives back.
Now, you said, I heard Vanessa say earlier about women becoming having a lot of anxiety and almost to the point of suicidal or whatever. I mean, I can't believe that menopause would cause you, it causes you to go into depression?
Absolutely. That's one of the number one contributors. And if you look and you start looking at the Department of Labor, the costs of these symptoms, including depression, including chronic fatigue, believe it or not, is considered an illness with the Center of Disease Control. It's called chronic fatigue syndrome, and it can last up to if they say it lasts over 6 months, accompanied by another symptom, then it's considered a diagnosis. It used to be called the yuppie flu, but yes, depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, insomnia, mood swings, all of those things are contributed by hormones. Remember, hormones, we know them to be responsible for the female characteristics, but the hormones also influence behavior. Yes, so
I know
behavior.
mood swings. I know mood swings because
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I used to have the mood swings like that
Mhm,
because
mhm,
I don't know, it's like you just sometimes just didn't want to be bothered or whatever, you know, but not to the point. Thank God I didn't never get to the point of going into depression or you know anything like that, or that I couldn't function, or having a strip because I had a girlfriend that she had it. No, seriously, she had it really bad, and we could be sitting someplace or whatever, and she would just start taking some of her clothes and
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
We like,
yes.
what are you doing? And she would say that she's just so hot.
Yeah, it's interesting that we think about a lot of things, but we don't consciously think about the products that we're using. And like Denise mentioned, the skin is the largest organ on the body. So when we think of things that we use, topical lotions, perfumes, and all these things that sometimes even the ingredients, perfume is a series of derivatives of unknown chemicals that may be that are there. Now, some perfumes that have longer lasting scent to them may be more infused with different chemicals, even harsher chemicals, and it's hard to sometimes go clean. And sometimes it's not always cost effective to go clean, but like I recommend and echo what Denise said. Start somewhere. And sometimes we unconsciously use cleaning products and things in our home and things like that. You don't really think about even something as simple as toothpaste and just little things. These little and I've had Denise actually to do a little an assessment for me, and some of the things was interested that you look about, you think, and you think, you second guess. You're like, oh wait a minute, okay, let me go back and retract, my steps with this thing. So now I become more conscious aware of the things. I've been doing it over time. Really, I've received a more in-depth knowledge of awareness to kind of really look and become more an advocate of myself of the products that I'm using. So
Okay, so if we want to start and be clean and go clean or whatever, like you said, you can't do it all at one time. Okay, like what is really the most important thing that you should start with, to try to start, cleaning your body up and stuff. Like I said, it took us all these years to get there, so it's going to take us a long time, to get it out of your system or whatever. But what is the more I would consider not dangerous, but the worst thing that we are doing that we need to really kind of start first on. I mean, now when you mentioned about the food with the sugar and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I think I'd rather for you to just shoot me and tell me not to eat no sugar. You know what I'm saying?
But the beautiful thing is you can still have sugar just in its natural form. So we're not getting rid of anything that we love. My name is Denise, and I'm truly a sugarholic. So guess what? I learned how to give myself what I crave, but now it's a lot cleaner. But if you really want the answer to the question, believe it or not, most people don't want to hear this. It's your skincare and hair care products. That is the worst thing you can be doing right now because of the number of ingredients that are highly toxic. And I encourage you, when we leave here, to go look at your stuff, flip it over, and type in the side effects of those ingredients, and you're going to be amazed. And so if you had to start somewhere, that would be the first place I'd say start. Start cleaning up the outside, the largest organ in your body, because remember, the skin is the gateway to the bloodstream, and it gets into your bloodstream 10 times faster than what it gets in your mouth. From there,
okay, so if you say skin, what should we just put on our skin? I mean, I know we use lotions and all that kind of different stuff, but what is the best thing that we should use only on the skin?
Okay, so I always say start with single ingredients. So for example, mango butter, shea butter, cocoa butter. Start with single ingredients, something that you know. And the reason why I say that is because if you have a reaction, like me and my body don't like lavender. So if I buy stuff that got a whole bunch of stuff in it, I'm not going to be able to identify that. And then I'm going to think all good stuff is bad. So if I start with single ingredients, then I can say, aha, this works well with my body. This does not work well with my body. So I would start with the skincare products. I would start with clean soap. Dr. Bonner's is one of the cleaner soaps. There's one, Alfafia is a clean soap. So I would start with the clean soap. Starting with the outside and then working our way on the inside if I had to choose. Then once you go there, then you start looking at the foods that you're eating, the hormone-filled chickens, or hormone-filled meats, you know, the hormone-filled eggs. Those hormones are in the chickens. Where else is it going to you? And that's a whole nother topic in itself. So then start eating clean, and, you know, organic foods. And the reason why we do organic foods is because of the insecticides on it that act as estrogen in our body. So again, organic foods. And when you buy organic, all organic is not treated the same. So you have to look for the USDA label, because that means 95% of the ingredients are organic, as opposed to if you just have plain organics, it can just be 5% of the ingredients and everything else is bad. So then you want to look at the wild foods, wild, you know, so cleansing up your skin, cleaning up your, putting the makeup on. Do me a favor and do the homework so that you can see everything that I share with you ladies is in the book. And not only that, it's backed with research. So nothing I say to you is my opinion. Everything that I share with you ladies, I actually have probably tons of sources that you can go to and you can verify this yourself. So again, it's not about opinion. It's really about helping you understand and identify the cause of those headaches, the cause of your fatigue, and then helping you make choices that's going to give you your life back.
And there are a lot of products that do have like the shea butter and the other type of ingredients you mentioned. Are you talking more about the pure shea butter?
Absolutely. And when I say single ingredients, that means there's nothing else in it but shea butter. There's no shea butter mixed with a whole bunch of other stuff. Single ingredients. Just buy pure shea butter. Go buy pure mango butter. Nothing else.
Okay, ladies, we gotta go. Our time is up. So thank you so much, Denise, for coming on, at least putting us on the right track of what we're supposed to be doing. So at least we know now what causes us when we start getting into it, and now give us some ideas of what we need to start doing and taking care of our skin and stuff like that. So thank you so much. And, you know, maybe we'll come back again and we'll do a part 2 on it, because there's so much to talk about with this and so many things that happen to different women. You can't talk about it all in one time. So we just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Remember, you can see us every Saturday at 5:30 on Brick and 2:30 on Manhattan Neighborhood. Meet us here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock sharp p.m. Okay, as always, we'll see you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Would you like beautiful pictures for your home or your office? Then stop by Faith Art Gallery. They have a large selection of pictures from around the world.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.